my lovely Kitans, a very warm welcome to your today's amazing chemistry session in which we are going to complete the revision of acids, bases and salts, right? So you would be knowing that we have covered this chapter in detail, and yes, if in case you people have missed any of the session, then this class is for you, because quickly we will be summing up the entire chapter. This is a one-shot revision session, fine? So if in case you people are new to the channel, then do subscribe to 9th and 10th English channel, and we are gonna come up with the Menti wars and also the special doubts and Menti session for ICSE students as well, right? So all you have to do is just stay connected till the very end. So without wasting any time, in the minimum time we have to do the revision of the entire chapter. So starting with the term acids only. So you know that whenever we talk about an acid, the only thing that comes to your mind is sour taste, isn't it? So acids are the substances, generally they are sour to taste, and not always. If you talk about coffee, then you know that is still acidic, but it's bitter to taste, right? So if I talk about the definition of Sir Arrhenius, then what he said us, he gave us a definition of acid as a substance which when dissolved in water is gonna give you hydronium ions, right? Hydronium ions are simply, you can say, H plus ions in water. Those substances he referred to as the acids. Although there are a lot of definitions for the acids, but we are restricting to Arrhenius definition, right? And if I talk about the basic classification, तो आपके पास होती हैं organic acids, right, which are naturally which are coming from some living sources, some plants, or you can say the animals, like oxalic acid commonly found in tomatoes. You have inorganic acids which you get from the minerals basically, and they are generally very strong in nature. Sulfuric acid is there, nitric acid is there. Okay, so you have all these inorganic acids. Talking about the strength ka classification, so if an acid is completely ionized in water, right, so it means jitne bhi aapne molecules liye, let's say you have taken 10 molecules of acid in water, then in water all those 10 molecules are ionized completely, that will be a strong acid. Weak acid if it is only partially ionized, okay? So partially ionized mein jaise acetic acid, you are taking 10 moles of acetic acid in water, so out of those 10 moles maybe only 2 are gonna dissociate to give you ions. So in this case the concentration of H plus ions that you would be getting in water, that would be very less, so they are weak acids. And यहाँ पर क्या होगा, concentration of H plus ions would be more coming from a strong acid. That's what makes them strong. Then on the basis of concentration, like concentration as in, let's say I have taken 99 ml of hydrochloric acid, added to 1 ml of water. So when the amount of acid is high, water is less, that is a concentrated acid. You have a dilute acid जिसमें क्या होगा, the water का content is more. Let's say I have 98 ml water and उसमें I have just taken 2 ml of acid, right? So clearly visible है, water ज़्यादा है, acid का amount is कम, so that would be a dilute on the basis of concentration, right? Then we have molecular composition, oxy acids. इसमें क्या होगा, you will have hydrogen, oxygen and one any other element different from them. जैसे nitric acid, sulfuric acid, hydrogen, oxygen and sulfur is also there. So they are the oxy acids. And hydra acids में the name is telling you one hydrogen atom and one any other heteroatom would be there. Generally a halogen is present, right? जैसे fluorine, chlorine, bromine. So you have HBr, you are having HCl, that will be the hydra acid. ठीक है? Then we have on the basis of the basicity, this is very simple. So monobasic acids matlab how many H plus ions they are giving you in water, that is what I call as basicity. Simply how many hydronium ion one molecule of acid is giving in water, right? Just say you have taken hydrochloric acid, so 1 mole of hydrochloric acid in water will be giving you 1 hydronium ion and chloride. So एक hydronium मिला है, so mono means 1, so it is monobasic acid. Like sulfuric acid will give you 2 hydronium ions in water. 1 molecule of sulfuric will give you 2 hydronium ions in water, so it is dibasic. ऐसे ही if you take phosphoric acid, it will give you 3 hydronium ions in water from 1 mole of acid. ठीक है? So that becomes a tribasic acid. Simple classification. The next is the chemical properties. Now यहाँ से what is important? Observations are important. So you can simply practice these reactions in observation, as in what gas you are getting. So जो gas मिलता है, what is the observation of that gas, right? उसके अलावा you have to see if there is any color change that is happening. So these are the major observations that you have to always look after, right? So we have the first thing, when acids react with the metals. Okay, so this is a general reaction. हमेशा ऐसा नहीं होता है. These reactions are dependent on the type of acid, concentration of acid and the type of metal that you are taking, right? यहाँ पर अगर मैं बात करूँ, so acid I have taken hydrochloric acid और metal is zinc. So what happens here? Displacement reaction is going to happen. So you know that more reactive zinc will displace less reactive hydrogen. Hydrogen goes out as H2 gas. Shoom, and it burns with a pop-up sound. So this is a general reaction that will happen. But however, instead of metal, if you take a metal carbonate, when metal carbonates are treated with acid, तो कौन सा gas liberate होता है? Not hydrogen, you get carbon dioxide. I have told you in the regular sessions also that this is why metal carbonate reacted with an acid. So simply you would be getting, यहीं से देख लो क्या मिलेगा, carbon dioxide you would be getting. ठीक है, बहुत सिंपल है. So you don't have to do anything, right? And apart from that, salt and water is also one of the product that you would be getting, and simply you can exchange the ions. जैसे देखो, metal carbonates are basic in nature, है ना, generally basic होते हैं. You are making them react with an acid, so it would be a neutralization reaction, type of neutralization. So you can make the products by exchanging the ions. Ions exchange कर दो, NaCl, ठीक है, and 2H plus ions, one carbonate makes carbonic acid, but carbonic acid is very unstable, so it will quickly break down to give us water and CO2, right? So you can remember that first neutralization happened, उसके बाद decomposition of carbonic acid. Directly you have to remember the gas, and this gas turns lime water milky. Carbon dioxide को detect करना is also easy. The next is reaction with the bases. Now this is a simple neutralization reaction. Acids reacts with base to give salt and water. Yay! So I can exchange the ion, sodium ion with chloride, H plus ions with hydroxide ions, forming water. And this is very important. ये बहुत important है, reaction with sulfides and bisulfides. So in the case of sulfide, always remember metal sulfide with acid कौन सा gas release करेंगे? Sulfur dioxide, right? Choking smell होगा, गंदा सा smell होगा, you won't like it. And same happens with bisulfide. Bisulfide कौन सा ion होता है? HSO3 negative, and sulfite is SO3 2 negative. ठीक है, so यहाँ पर दोनों में which gas will be liberated on reaction with acids? Sulfur dioxide. Apart from that, salt and water is common that you would be getting. ठीक है, यहाँ पर देखो, what if the reaction with sulfides happens? Sulfides ये वाला ion होता है, S2 negative. So अगर आपके पास sulfide है reacted with an acid, then the gas which is liberated out is hydrogen sulfide gas, and it has a rotten egg smell. Very bad odor, so we have to just don't smell it. Near the sewage plants you basically find it. I always tell you this thing, ठीक है? So आपके पास अगर metal sulfides है, with the acids you would be getting salt along with the liberation of hydrogen sulfide gas. That is very easy. You can do it the same as happening in this reaction, and products simply बना सकते हो by exchanging the ions, Zn with Cl and these H plus ions with sulfides. Okay, yeah, I have to give you a homework. You have to tell me the reaction of metal chlorides and metal nitrates with the acids in the comment section. I will see. उसके बाद जो doubt और menti session होगा, I will add your names. ठीक है? Homework में you will be doing the comment क्या reactions होती हैं. Like you can check the session also. I have explained everything in the regular class. Regular as in YouTube पर ही I told you, so you can get the playlist right, and apart from that आप simply देख सकते हो. So you'll be knowing it. Those there are some regular students also who attend ICSE sessions every day, and that really makes me happy. Even though the number of students are less, very less, but that doesn't impact me. It's like even if one student is watching the video and he or she is getting some advantage out of that, like the purpose is served right there. So you see general uses of some acids, यहाँ से questions आ जाते हैं for simply 1 mark. So try to remember that. जैसे boric acid is used as an antiseptic. So any eye droplets आपने जो देखे होंगे, right? So eye droplet की medicines में boric acid को use करते हैं. So it's used as an antiseptic to remove the dirt out of our eyes. And you have oxalic acid used as ink stain remover. So एक वो आता है ना magic ink आती है, if you have seen that भूतनाथ movie में Bantu is having that magic ink which disappears like that. Okay, that also has oxalic acid in it, so it works as ink stain remover. Making of perfumes and medicines में benzoic acid हम use करते हैं, so it's responsible for imparting that fragrance nature. Phosphoric acid is used to make the fertilizers. So nitrogen and phosphorus are most essential elements required for the plant growth. So वही हम देने के लिए क्या करते हैं, phosphoric acid add करते हैं fertilizers में, so that the growth increases and fastens up, right? So if you want to join us in the regular sessions, then ICSE batch is also starting from 2nd of August. You still have a lot of time, ठीक है? So अभी भी time है, register कर सकते हो, because next batch for ICSE, when it will start you never know. And just go with 1 month subscription, because you people have also reduced syllabus. So go through that, उसको देखो अच्छे से, ठीक है? Vedantu improvement promise is a guarantee that by the end of the year, if you don't see any improvement, तो आपका पैसा वापस हो जाएगा. Compete with the students throughout the world. So you know, everyone wants to know the rank, performance, है ना? सबको अच्छा लगता है, I want to know my in-depth analysis. You get it there in the subscription, right? Apart from that, in-depth analysis के अलावा you get unlimited live classes, ठीक है? There are variety of things and courses to choose from. Unlimited micro courses होते हैं. So what you need to do, a link is given in the description box of the video. Simply वहाँ पर आपको जाना है, ठीक है? Visit that link for 10% extra discount in the pro subscription, and वहाँ पर tap कर simply you would be taken over to a screen जहाँ पर you can select your course, pro light, pro classic, pro plus, जो भी आपको चाहिए depending on your requirement. It's available for ICSE also, ठीक है? SKA Pro is the code that you can note down. That is my code, Shilpi Kaushik Army. Yes, okay. So yeah, these are the batches I told you, 2nd of August. Because one shot hai, so we are paying more attention to this part, revising the chapter, right? How can we define a base? Now we are done with acids, so base ke liye, you know, Arrhenius ka definition was simple tha. These are the substances which will give us OH ions in water, and those species which are going to react with acids to lead to the formation of salt and water. And what color they change for the litmus paper? Red litmus paper turns blue in bases, right? So there are some examples that we can take. Let's say I have taken calcium oxide. So bases contain displaceable oxide ion. जैसे यहाँ पर है calcium ion and oxide ion. Base. Now you say, ma'am, how it is a base? It doesn't have OH ion. So calcium oxide को जब आप पानी में add करोगे, you will be getting calcium hydroxide. That's a base right there, giving you OH ions in water, right? So metal oxides are also generally basic in nature. Then you have displaceable hydroxide ions. NaOH में है, KOH में है, calcium hydroxide में है, right? Okay, so there are some bases which are water soluble. So such water soluble bases are defined as alkalis, right? जैसे कि I have sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide. ये कुछ ऐसे bases हैं which are soluble in water. So you can simply call them as alkalis. So can I say that all bases are alkalis? All bases are alkalis. Do you agree? बिल्कुल भी नहीं, false statement, because all bases are not water soluble, just fraction, कुछ उनमें से. जैसे if this entire circle is representing the bases, so उसमें कुछ थोड़े से fraction of bases होंगे which are water soluble, and we will be calling them as alkali. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, so now we have to see the classification of bases. इनका छोटू सा classification है, again on the basis of strength. Strong वो which are completely ionized, weak which are partially ionized. Now ma'am, how will I get to know that the following base or acid is strong or weak, है ना? So that depends on the bond strength. वो bond strength पर भी depend करता है, like NaOH. If this bond मेटल ऑक्सीजन इज वीक, देन बॉन्ड आराम से टूट जाता है. सो दीज स्पीसीज आर जनरली स्ट्रॉन्ग इन नेचर. ऐसे ही फॉर एसिड H and any other species, hydrogen, any other atom, if that bond is weak then it will break easily. H plus ion will be released out quickly. ठीक है, ऐसे ही वहां पर स्ट्रेंथ डिसाइड होता है. एंड मोनो एसिडिक, एसिडिक कौन होंगे? यहाँ पर वी सी द नंबर ऑफ OH ions in water produced from one molecule of the base. जैसे देखो, I have taken one molecule of aluminium hydroxide in water, so this will be giving me aluminium ions and 3 OH ions. So पानी में 3 OH ions मिले हैं. It is triacidic in nature, right? ऐसे monoacidic में 1 OH ions, diacidic में 2 OH ions. कर सकते हो, not difficult, right? So their properties, general physical properties, they are sharp and have bitter taste. Soap solution, we never want to taste it, isn't it? They are soapy substances, slippery होते हैं touch करने के लिए. Generally strong electrolytes. Weak bases will behave as weak electrolytes, right? So it means that they can be used to conduct the electricity, right? Because free ions होंगे, so acids and bases के aqueous solution do conduct electricity, so you can use them as electrolytes. Mild corrosive action on skin, but if you take a strong base, it will have a severe impact on the skin, so they are again not safe to touch or taste. ठीक है. Physical properties, if I talk about indicators, in litmus का red litmus turns blue in bases, methyl orange turns yellow in bases, and acids में methyl orange turns red. Okay, phenolphthalein turns pink in bases, so you have to remember some basic color change of indicators. कर सकते हो. Then we have the chemical properties. So chemical properties basis का बहुत easy है. Like if you take some strong alkalis like sodium hydroxide, they will be absorbing carbon dioxide from the air. So अगर कहीं पर let's say आप space में जा रहे हो, you want to take out carbon dioxide from any medium, then आप इसका use कर सकते हो. Strong alkalis, caustic soda, potash, ठीक है, caustic potash आप यूज कर सकते हो. They will simply absorb carbon dioxide and just precipitate it out as a solid. You will get sodium carbonate along with water, potassium carbonate. So इसका काफी यूज किया जाता है extensively, right? Then this is again neutralization reaction. Bases neutralize acids to give salt in water. That is simple. The third one, these are important one. They precipitate as insoluble metal hydroxides when added to solution of salts of the heavy metals. I have taken a heavy metal like copper, iron, zinc. Transition metals होते हैं generally, ठीक है. So I have taken salt of a heavy metal. यहाँ पर लिख लो, if you are confused, salt of heavy metal. Okay, and what we need to do, we have to take these bases जिसकी मैं बात कर रही हूँ. I have taken base, added it to the salt of a heavy metal, then they will simply precipitate out. जो भी आपने metal लिया होगा, metal का salt, that metal hydroxide will simply precipitate out, right? So you can see along with the formation of a salt. Again, these are all double displacement reactions. So you can simply make the products by exchanging the ions. Copper combining with hydroxide ion, 2 ammonium ions combining with 1 sulfate ion, leading to the formation of ammonium sulfate. ठीक है. And these colored salts, so इससे आप ना metal ion भी identify कर सकते हो. So this has very important application in qualitative analysis where you want to find out the metal ion present in your salt of the heavy metal. आपको नहीं पता, you can observe the color of the precipitate. ठीक है, हम करने वाले हैं इसको वेरी सून. ऐसे ही वी हैव जिंक सल्फेट, अगेन सॉल्ट ऑफ हेवी मेटल. यू विल बी एडिंग अ बेस इनटू इट. द सॉल्ट ऑफ मेटल बेसिकली हाइड्रोक्साइड विल प्रेसिपिटेट आउट जिलेटिनस वाइट पीपीटी. Okay, ऐसे ही you can go with this FeOH2 dirty green PPT will come, so you can see that color change and get to know about the metal ion. Okay, then we have another reaction when they are warmed with an ammonium salt, then ammonia gas is given out. That's very simple. So ammonium salt, I have taken ammonium chloride with a base. So कौन सा gas liberate होने वाला है? Simply ammonia. So pungent smelling gas होती है, you can simply detect it. Apart from that, you would be getting salt and water. अगैन आप एक्सचेंज करके भी बना सकते हो आयॉन्स, ठीक है. एक्सचेंज करोगे यू विल गेट NaCl एंड अमोनियम हाइड्रोक्साइड दैट विल ब्रेक टू रिलीज आउट अमोनिया एंड वाटर. Simple है. These are some general uses of bases. Now you have to go through this slide because bases के examples and applications are always important, whether they are related to acids, bases or salts or any other topic. So go through this slide. We have discussed in the class sodium hydroxide use होता है soap detergents manufacture में, potassium hydroxide also, and बहुत strong है, so we use it in the batteries as well. Calcium hydroxide is used to soften the hard water and to prepare the bleaching powder. So जो bleaching powder prepare करना होता है, we simply take calcium hydroxide and pass chlorine gas through it. So we would be getting bleaching powder along with liberation of water. ठीक है. देन मैग्नीशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड एंटासिड की तरह काम करता है. लाइक इफ यू हैव एक्सेस ऑफ एसिडिटी इन द स्टमक देन इट विल हेल्प टू न्यूट्रलाइज दैट excess acidity, making the medium neutral in nature. To remove grease stains from the clothes we use ammonium hydroxide. Then magnesia आप use करते हो bricks को बनाने के लिए. Calcium oxide as a drying agent, it can absorb the water basically. So reactions में हम use करते हैं. These are some important uses. Then the next topic is ionization of water. So you know that water ionizes by itself, and this phenomena is what we define as auto ionization of water. लेकिन this ionization happens to a very very small extent. जैसे देखो you have taken one water, okay, it will simply break down to give me H plus ions and OH ions. Now this H plus ion is actually very small in size, so it is not able to exist independently, so it combines with another water molecule and leads to the formation of hydronium ion. ठीक है. So overall net reaction क्या होगा, ये two water molecules give me hydronium ions and OH ions. Auto ionization happens, right? Polar solvent होता है, you know that. Now the next topic is how do we find the strength of an acid? Is it possible to find strength of an acid or base? Definitely it is, and we have a topic known as pH scale for that. जहाँ पर P stands for potens, rather you can say strength. पोटेंस को आप स्ट्रेंथ समझ सकते हैं या फिर पोटेंशियल ऑल्सो यू कैन कॉल इट. स्ट्रेंथ एंड H फॉर H प्लस आयॉन्स वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. व्हाट इज द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ H प्लस आयॉन्स इन अ गिवन सोल्यूशन? लाइक इफ यू हैव गिवन टू एसिड सोल्यूशन, किसमें H प्लस आयॉन ज्यादा है, दैट आई कैन इजीली आइडेंटिफाई विद द हेल्प ऑफ माई pH scale. Right, but how can we see that which acid will give me how many H plus ions? So that again depends on the bond strength. ये मैम आपको बता चुके हैं. What makes an acid strong is its strength of the bond between hydrogen and other component. जैसे H और Cl में the bond strength is not very strong, so उसको break करना आसान होगा, so H plus will quickly go out. If you compare the other HX acids, HF, HCl, HBr, HI. So HI सबसे ज़्यादा strong acid होगा because of large size of iodine and small size of hydrogen. It becomes very easy to break this H and I bond, and H plus का loss becomes very quick. So it is strongest acid in its respective group. ठीक है, HF weakest होगा. So it depends on the bond strength. Stronger is the bond, lesser is the chances of H plus to get dissociated, so weaker will be the acid. So आपको ध्यान रखना है, इसीलिए HCl is more acidic than sulfuric acid. वहाँ पर bond H2SO4 के केस में break करना is slightly difficult as compared to HCl. Right? Strength of a base similarly is decided by the number of OH ions. If a base is giving you more OH ions, that would be a strong base clearly, and that again depends on the bond strength. ठीक है, then we have pH scale with us. So according to pH scale, what we say, pH value is inversely proportional to concentration of hydronium ions. मतलब क्या है, if hydronium ion concentration is high then the value of pH is less. So that is why if you see the pH scale, then pH value 7 से ऊपर क्या होता है, OH ion concentration is more than hydronium ion concentration. So this area belongs to the bases. So bases are found from pH 7 to 14, right? ऐसे ही let's say if the pH value is below 7, यहाँ पर क्या होगा, हाइड्रोनियम आयन कॉन्सेंट्रेशन विल बी डोमिनेटिंग ओवर OH आयन कॉन्सेंट्रेशन, राइट. सो यहाँ पर आई कैन से एसिड्स का बोलबाला होगा इस वाले रीजन में, राइट. सो इसीलिए लोअर इज द pH, lower is the pH, stronger is the acid, stronger is the acid, बेस तो बहुत ही वीक होगा, and higher is the pH, stronger is the base. कौन होगा strong? Base होगा. And at pH 7 hydronium ion concentration will be equal to OH ion concentration. ठीक है, so that is like neutral वाला केस होगा. So you can डिटेक्ट इट इजीली. आपके पास एक इंडिकेटर होता है दैट वी रेफर टू एज यूनिवर्सल इंडिकेटर, ये ठीक है. इट्स अ स्ट्रिप ऑफ पेपर. सो दिस यूनिवर्सल इंडिकेटर यू हैव टू डिप इन योर सोल्यूशन, जो भी आपके पास सोल्यूशन है, एसिड और बेस. देन देयर वुड बी अ कलर चेंज. देन दैट कलर चेंज यू कैन मैच फ्रॉम द रिस्पेक्टिव टेबल. ठीक है, आपके पास ये कलर्स का टेबल होता है, यू कैन जस्ट मैच इट फ्रॉम देयर एंड यू विल गेट टू नो, अरे इफ द कलर टर्न्ड लेट्स से वायलेट, so you will say the pH value is 14, and once you have the pH value you can directly calculate the concentration of H plus ions. एक formula होता है that you don't have to do, but still ma'am is writing pH is equal to minus log of concentration of hydronium ion. So if you have pH value you can get hydronium ion concentration or vice versa, right. So these are some of the examples and their respective pH values, and ये ऐसे ही calculate किया है from pH. Let's say pH value is 14 minus log base 10 hydronium ion concentration. This will give you the value anti-log लेकर 10 raised to minus 14 moles per liter will be the hydronium ion. So you can find that easily, but you are not supposed to do that in इतना detail, ठीक है. Okay, this scenario which ma'am brought there is written over here कि pH less than 7 पर क्या होगा, acids exist करेंगे, more than 7 पर bases है, and यहाँ पर neutral solution है. Okay, we have done this. These are the colors. You don't have to remember color acids. Simply इसको याद रखो, VIBGYOR, VI, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. Right, so you will get a rough idea about the colors and importance of pH in everyday life. We have discussed it. बहुत important है. Human body works in the pH range of 7 to 7.8. That is the best pH range. Slightly alkaline. Plants are also pH sensitive, so जो आप fertilizers use करते हो, you have to make sure you are not adding excess of fertilizers, right? Then they will make the soil extra acidic in nature. That will also disturb everything. Then our stomach produces HCl. Now if let's say you have done overeating या फिर consumed excess of acidic food, so that causes indigestion and irritation, that has to be neutralized, है ना. फिर उसके लिए क्या करेंगे, we have to go and take the help of some Antacid, some mild bases आपको consume करने पड़ेंगे, milk of magnesia or baking soda simply. Then tooth decay, calcium phosphate which makes the tooth enamel, that also starts deteriorating under acidic conditions. So you always have to make sure आप खाना खाने के बाद brush करें properly. If the pH of mouth falls below 5.5 then it will be a problem for your teeth, right. The last topic is salts. So we already know about salts, इतना सारा पढ़ लिया है. They are formed when an acid generally reacts with the base to give salt and water. How salt can be formed? They can be simply formed by partial replacement of H plus ions या फिर complete replacement. जैसे देखो, I am having sulfuric acid, it has got 2 replaceable H plus ions. इसको ऐसे लिख सकते हो, H plus HSO4 negative, and this is my Na plus and OH ions. So what happens, only one H plus is neutralized by one OH ions. So अभी जो salt मिलेगा, that will be sodium hydrogen sulfate, that still has one replaceable H plus ion, ठीक है. So ऐसा salt आप define कर सकते हो. Otherwise if you take 2 moles of the base then you have 2 OH ions. यहाँ पर 2 H plus ions है, both of them can be neutralized. So यहाँ पर हुआ है complete replacement. So in both the cases you are getting salts. ये acidic salt था, ये simple neutral salt है. Okay, so you can directly get the type of salt. So in the normal salts you will be having the combination of a strong acid and a strong base. They don't have any ionizable or replaceable H plus ion. pH value would be exactly 7 because they are neutral, Normal की जगह पर you can use a word neutral as well. Acidic will be formed by the combination of strong acid and a weak base. ठीक है, they will still have one ionizable edge. And basic में क्या होगा, strong base with the weak acid. They have ionizable OH ions. जैसे यहाँ पर देखो, ये सिंपल एग्जाम्पल है स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस इन वीक एसिड का. यू कैन ऑल्सो टेक अनदर एग्जाम्पल जिसमें आयनाइजेबल OH होगा, राइट. General property of salts are generally electrovalent compound, means they are ionic compounds because they are usually formed by the combination of a metal or a non-metal. अगर नहीं होगा non-metal, then metal with some negatively charged ion present होगा, right. So metal usually gives its electron and non-metal would be accepting that electron. So transfer of electron happens, which forms the electrovalent compounds, right. So they will be conducting electricity in the molten state, because molten state में क्या होगा, you have heated NaCl to a very high temperature near to its melting point. So at that point, ions of the solid will become free to move, right. So once they are free, then they will be conducting electricity, and in the aqueous solution, water will break this NaCl to give me sodium ions and chloride ions. Free ions हो गए, so they will still be conducting electricity, but not in the solid state. Solid state में ions are not free to move, so they won't conduct electricity, ठीक है. And they are generally non-volatile solids that form the crystals. So non-volatile acid, they are not converted to vapors easily, ना के बराबर चांसेस होते हैं. सो घर पे यू हैव योर सॉल्ट, वो कभी सबलाइम नहीं करता है ना, it stays right there. Now these are the general type of salts on the basis of solubility. जैसे एक soluble salt कब बोलोगे, when at least 1 gram is soluble in 100 ml of water. You have partially soluble जो 0.1 gram in 100 ml, right. And you have insoluble salt even if less than 0.1 is soluble in 100 ml of water. So these are different ways to classify the salts, okay. So with that note, we are done with the one shot revision of the chapter. So you have a homework question to do. Name the bases which are not alkalis. Think about it. I need at least 3 examples. That would be fine. And we are done with the one-shot explanation. Now again, reminding you of the VIP subscription. If you want to take the enrollment, you belong to 9th or 10th standard, you can choose your favorite mode of communication for the batches. Apply the coupon code and come join for 1 month subscription, and you also get pro exclusive micro courses. Right? So Shilpi Ma'am will see you next time. Till then, take care and do not forget to share this video with your friends so that they also get to know that we are covering up ICSE on English channel. Bye bye.